Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a while since we've spoken, but thank goodness we can speak. I've got, first of all, on a different book here, I've got a book sitting here beside me of a problem that came up where one of the agents is making an offer on a property that she can't see because it's occupied by a tenant. And so I found out that actually the listing agent has never seen the property. And that is a bad way to go about this. Not for our lady, but for the listing agent to actually take a listing and say, put it in the contract. If you don't get to see it, you don't have to buy it. Well, that's just not a very much of a problem solver there, I don't think. And I think what you need to do if you get such a listing, it's got a tenant in it that's hard to deal with. You can't get in or anything. You do need to get in there and see that tenant. Maybe the tenant will buy the place. You wouldn't even have to put it on MLS. There's possibilities there. You got to think about everything. So this was an issue back on the 22nd of last month, and I don't know if she ever did put in an offer on that property or not. I told her to be sure and give herself a 15-day inspection so she has time to get in there and take care of this. I hope that she was able to work this out. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to call her up and see how that all worked out, because that's an interesting case. You get stuff like that, you need to know about it and understand what's going on and make it work, so that we're here to sell property, not to mess around with things like this. So I'm always happy to jump in there and see what we can do for you. So, and there was another one. Somebody, well, apparently several people got email that said something about agents were being suspended for some reason. And we sent out a big email that said, don't open that. Don't even open it. It's a phony email. So things happen, and we try to keep on top of it here so you don't have those problems. Here's the first article here. You're going to get this in your Westwords because I wrote it for Westwords. It's called Hello, Hullo with a question mark. And it says this article may sound like criticism, and it is. However, it's constructive criticism, and so on and so forth. And it talks about communication, because that's the only thing that you've actually got to sell is communication. So it's your high point. When you call West USA Realty down in our main office there, they tell you who they are when they answer the phone. So you know who's there, you know who you're speaking with. So I'll hope that you will read this. And some of the communicators that are in real estate have it set up so that if your phone is blocked, like mine is, you don't see my number when I call you. If your phone is blocked, their phone won't even pick up on it and let you know that it won't even ring. And I don't know why they would have it in such a kind of a status. So it's something I hope you'll get rid of. I've spoken about it before, but just read this article and remember that you are in the real estate business. When you got a name on you too, West USA Realty. So that's why that I'm butting in on it a little bit here. I want to make sure that West USA is represented in a good way there, so that we do more business, of course. Professional communication is the key to your business success. And then I say this, so start the year 2021 right with communication that talks to people. So hopefully you'll see that one. And then prior to that time, I wrote one called A Small Issue or a Very Large Issue, and I hope that you get back and take a look at that in the previous issue of the Westwords. It's called possession of a property and receiving keys to operate all locks. Sometimes you don't turn over all keys because the owner will give you just some of the keys. They won't give you all of them for some reason. But anyway, you need to make sure that you've got keys that'll operate everything. Because if you don't have, then what are they going to do? The buyers. They're going to call me like I've got the keys. Well, I don't know anything about this stuff. So hopefully you can take care to make sure that they've got keys because they own the house now. They need to get inside of it. And it's in the contract and it states all of that. So hopefully everybody will take a look at that. Then somebody was having an open house and I thought, well, what are you doing here? One of the agents having an open house. Somebody came into this open house and wanted to write it up. They said, I want to buy this house. The agent didn't know what to do. She wanted to know about dual agency. What is there about dual agency here? Is there anything about dual agency here? None at all. There's nothing to do with dual agency here. You are representing the seller. Now, here's somebody wants to buy a house. Get your contract out and write it up. And you're representing the seller only. Not a problem. Well, unless that buyer says, well, wait a minute, I want you to also represent me. Well, now it becomes a different issue. You're a dual agent, but you're not representing either party fully, and it's a different situation, which you've got to look into your getting written consent of both parties. So that's a really different situation there. And certainly you would want to do that because you don't want them to go grab another agent somewhere. So it's better to do that. But I'd rather see you just write it up, be the agent of the seller, be honest, true, faithful, whatever, just get the job done and make sure that everything goes right for both parties. Don't want any losers when we get a deal closed or a transaction, I guess is what we need to call it. We want to make sure that they close and everybody goes away happy. So that's the consent to limited representation form is what you would use if you're going to represent both parties. And then it changes things a little bit. But go to AAR online and look up dual agency. They've got all of this nice writings and everything, and you can read it at your leisure and understand it better than you do. But if somebody just comes in your open house and says, I want to buy it, write it up, do it. Get her done. Let's get on to the next one. Disclosure of buyer agency and seller waiver and confirmation. Did you hear that? Disclosure of buyer agency and a seller waiver and confirmation. Now that's when you can't find an agent or a broker or anybody from the other side. Let's say that you've got an offer on a property. You want to make sure that you call the broker here because we want to guide you. We want to be for sure that everything's going down right. And within 24 hours, you can actually make a presentation to these people. Well, we like to take a little more than 24 hours because we want to make sure that we're able to get a hold of the owners on this or the representation that they have, whoever that might be. But this is a good form, very good one, in case we cannot find anybody on the other side. Has a listing. Seller waiver and confirmation. So they waive the agreement that they have to have their representative with them. They waive it, and then you have a disclosure of buyer agency. This thing says that you're representing the buyer only, and that they need to be trying to get a hold of their representative on this situation. So this is a rare form. It was invented in August of 2005, and it's a good form. Sometimes people can't find it. I had somebody that couldn't find it, and I found it on my uh, computer here and was able to run it off. So make sure that you understand about this form. It's in zip forms or whatever you use. And now a new form coming up. Not that it's a better form than the one that we had before, although we already had a listing contract addendum. Listing contract addendum, where you're adding something to the listing that the seller wants to add in there and you've agreed to it. So know that that's coming up the 1st of February. Now there's an old form that is not a nice form. I don't like it. It's icky. We want to get rid of that, and we want to start using this new draft, listing contract addendum. Of course, you won't be able to find the old one anymore because it'll be gone, but you might have some piled up somewhere. Here's something that I come up with. The Belarc Advisor. That's BELARC. This is a good computer profile, is what it is. And they'll give you a free one. Tell you exactly what is in your computer. All of the programs that you have, and you can just look here and see. And for one of the things I wanted to know was, I think it was Adobe. That's what I wanted to know, if I had Adobe in there. And yeah, I have it, Adobe Acrobat Update Service version. And the one I wanted was the Adobe Flash Player, because we have to take that out of our computers now. As they said, they're not servicing anymore, and if anything goes wrong with it, it's on you. Any problems? So the Adobe Flash Player. And so I subscribe to Kim Commando is what I do. And she tells you how to take it out of there. It's very simple. And so she suggested that everybody take that out of your computers. Now, Kim Commando is really somebody you want to know. As a matter of fact, take a look at that. She's got so much good stuff, and I noticed that on today's show there, she was talking about what you can get for your Apple computers. So there's 5 items she says you definitely need for your Apple computer that will help you. So I hope you'll take a look at that and see what those items are, and use them. One of them was like a Word program for your Apple computer. Well, I've never needed such a thing because I don't have an Apple computer. But wait a minute, my daughter gave me one. I have one right behind me here on the desk. And all I need to do is learn how to use it. Of course, that takes a while. But I'm going to put these items into that computer. And one of them was RoboForm. Does anybody use RoboForm for passwords? You really should. That's got that AES 256 system in it, so that they can't people can't break into the thing very easy unless it would take them years to break into your system. So RoboForm, it was free. You could get it for, I believe it was AAR. You could get RoboForm for free. Kim Commando now has it on a 50% discount. In case you can't get it for free, you can buy into it if you take a look at Kim Commando. she's quite a gal, and I like all of her stuff that she has in there, and she helps me a lot. There's two programs that she has. One is where she's trying to sell all kinds of stuff, and then there's another program where she just looks out for you, and she doesn't have anything to sell. So that's good sometimes. But that Belarc, Belarc, Belarc Advisor, computer profile. And all they do is tell you what all your programs are that's in your computer there. And when you put it in there and what version of it is, everything. So take a look at that. I've had it for years, and anytime I want to know if I put something in, it's easy for me because I got it laying right here. And it's a good bunch of paperwork. Then I've got something pretty good. I've got my own website, and a lot of you know about it. I know about it, and some don't. It's called realtypower.us. And it's just me, and I just have stuff I've written on there and many different things. And you're welcome to go there anytime you want to by checking in at www.realtypower.us. And you'll find Bob's clauses and some other different things in there, and a lot of stories, many different things. So I'm sure that you'll find something you like in there. And Superlative has always been wonderful with me, and I had a problem with this Adobe Flash Player thing, and I called them up, and they got rid of that for me so I don't need it anymore. And I've got a beautiful site now. They changed it. And I've been with them, I guess, probably close to 28, 29 years, because I made it possible for them to get in here. And they've always given me my system for nothing. And they keep it up for me. And I talked to the lady there named Rachel, and she did a good job on getting me all set up. It says, feel free to reach out to me with anything else you need. And so she did a good job on that. And I really like Superlative. I got everything I need right there. Just a thought for some of you. And also on that Superlative site, I've got affirmations and positive thoughts. And that's what you need for the days. It is some positive thoughts, positivity. On my business card, and I've had this for, I don't know, 25, 30 years, same business card on the back side of it, I say, affirmation for winners. No longer do I accept any form of limitation whatsoever. Right now, I drop from my mind all negative, limiting thoughts and ideas. I affirm that today I am happy, prosperous, and successful. I am moving forward into this day with a marvelous new sense of direction. Today is a great day. So that's one of the things I have. Then on the other side, of course, is the business card part of it. So there's a bunch of these affirmations and positive thoughts. If you will get them, and you could even publish them, I don't care, send them out to clients or whatever. For one thing, it says here, smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. That's right. So if you have problems with things, that's good. You learn how to fix it, and away you go. And it isn't the burdens of today that drive men mad. It's the regrets over yesterday and the fear of tomorrow. Regret and fear are twin thieves who rob us of today. So that's another one that I have in here. And I'd like you to take a look at some of these. And it says, it will be done. I'll do it. I can overcome obstacles, conditions, and situations. I am innovative, creative, and unique. I give excellent service and do what I say I'll do. I control my life and my time, and I say no often. I follow through with others I depend on. I have specific goals and am committed to them, and I will deliver when called upon. And one of the things about saying no often is too many agents say yes all the time, and now they've got all of these commitments, and then they fail to take care of it. So don't say that you will do something unless you're going to. So that's another thought. And I got a couple of other ideas here. This, if you're trying to make a decision for a brokerage to work at, where do you start? And all brokerages have all this stuff they give you. They give you this different things. The advantages of working at their brokerage, the buyer and seller leads they have access to, which none of them do, but maybe some do. Referral possibilities, high commission splits, team demands for agents, training in all aspects and fields of real estate. This is normal soliciting for agents. But I have a different way of viewing a good place to work from, and it is called tenure of the current agents. If you go talk, well, I would say we've got 3,000 people. I would say into the thousands, like a couple thousand, you'll find people who have been working there for 10, 20, and 30 years. Why are they still there? It isn't what we gave them when they started or whatever that might be. It's that we treat them right and they found a place to work and they can work with the brokers here and have a good career here. And once they get known, there's some people that are just positively wonderful. And we've got an awful lot of those. I was looking at a book here. Let me grab it here. Here's a bunch of people that have worked here for many years. A lot of them have passed away. They've lived here, worked here so long. There's so doggone many of them. Here's some people that came from Vietnam and they work here. They're still working here. They've been here 25, 30 years. Just so doggone many. I don't want to mention any names because I'll forget a whole bunch of them that they just been here forever. So that's what I look at is the tenure of the agents. Most of the agents have been around here for years and years. There must be a reason why. And I noticed something that I wrote. I was looking through a bunch of stuff. I wrote this back in 2011. And all these things that I wrote back then still apply to now. Senior specialists are woefully short in an open field. And at the time I wrote this, I found less than 6 qualified agents at West USA. Now that's back in 2011. I don't know what the situation is now, but who works on senior housing? That's a good way to go. Veteran housing, another good way to go. Commercial real estate. What's hot in commercial real estate? If you listen to Tina Tambor, you'll hear that storage units are very hot right now. There's a lot of people that come here and don't have any place to put a lot of stuff, so they rent out a storage unit. And those are big going on right now in commercial real estate. Here's one that I saw back then from Carmel Bernier. She's a lady from France that still works for us. She's been with us for a long time. And she says, this is what Jerry Rice said. Today, I will do what others won't. Jerry Rice, of course, is a football player and catches passes, and he's got many records here. Today, I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can accomplish what others cannot. That's a description of a real estate agent, I think. That's the way you've got to work. You got to work in that way. And here's a fellow that Harvey McKay wrote about today. Here's a janitor that worked at St. Peter's Church in London. When they found out that he couldn't read or write, they fired him. So, jobless, the man had a few dollars, and he went out and invested his meager savings in a tiny tobacco shop, where he immediately prospered. He then opened another shop and another, and soon owned a large chain of tobacco stores all over Britain. And then one day he was dining at a fancy club with his banker, who observed, "You've done quite well for an illiterate man. I wonder where you would be today if you could read and write." And the man says, "That's easy. I'd still be the janitor in St. Peter's Church." So that's something to look at. And I've got a story like that about myself, and I'll tend to that some other day. And I'll tell you the story of it. It happened in a boardroom that I was sitting in. And I think we're about to the end of our, well, they say roll, the end of our time here. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week, right here in this same spot. I hope you could hear me well today. And we'll have some other stories. I didn't have too many stories to tell today because we haven't been on the phones, answering the phones, because I took 2 weeks vacation before Christmas. So I wasn't answering the phone, so I didn't get any issues that came up. Just that one about the people that took the listing without looking at the property. That's about the only one I got during that time. But hopefully we'll have some things going next week. And thank you all very, very much. Bye-bye.